The Loovent T is the perfect replacement product for the Loovent TM01 as it fits into the exact same footprint. An additional decorative bezel is available for when the product is being recessed to cover any existing openings. Before we begin the replacement process, for your safety, please ensure that any electrical supply that may be providing power to the fan has been completely isolated. Now that the power has been isolated, you are ready to begin the replacement process. The first step is removing the fan cover from the Loovent TM01. To do this, loosen the screw found on the base of the fan underneath the airflow logo. The screw does not need to be fully removed, but loosen enough that the cover should lift away with ease. The next step is removing the module, which is located here. To remove, grasp firmly on both sides and pull the module towards you to release. Now we're ready to remove the fan casing and the motor. Using a crosshead screwdriver, loosen the two screws holding the components in place. Once loose, slide the components to the right and they will lift away from the seating. We now need to disconnect the wiring from the connection block. Using a flathead screwdriver, you can loosen the 4 screws and lift the cable out of the connection block. Our final step is removing the TM01 fan case from the wall. To do this, firstly loosen the 4 screws that fix the casing to the wall. Whilst removing, feed the mains cable through the back of the case to fully release. Now we are ready to replace the old Louvent model with the newer replacement model. To remove the fan cover, press both buttons found on the bottom of the fan case and lift away. Inside of the fan case, you will find the backdraft flap and the fixing screws. Once you have removed the front cover from your Louvent replacement, as well as the backdraft flap, fixing screws, and, if spec'd with one, a pull cord, you are now ready for the next step. Remove the fan, the motor casing, and control dip switches. To do this, loosen the 2 screws found here and here. Once you have loosened these screws, the components will then come away from the seating as shown here. Now that we have removed the main components from our casing, the next step is to remove the connector found here. To remove this, pinch and lift away from its seating and the part should come away like so. Now we can attach our supplied backdraft flap to our case. Lining the shoulder of the flap to the case, press into the slot to attach. Please ensure the backdraft aligns as shown in the video in order to ensure that it works correctly. Now with this step complete, our casing is ready to be mounted. Depending on what Louvent model you've purchased, you may find that you have a restrictor cone instead of a backdraft fan included with your Louvent model. If you do have a cone included, to install this, firstly remove both halves of the cone from its packaging. Then, you can gently align the 2 pieces together as shown to form your cone. Once formed, this can be installed into the rear of your casing by pressing the cone into the designated slot to attach. Your restrictor cone is now mounted and ready to use. Before mounting, ensure your mains cable is pre-formed to align with the recess on the back of the case, in order for the casing to sit flush against the wall. You will know you have done this correctly as the screw holes should line up perfectly with where the older model was previously mounted. Now, using the screws provided with the replacement fan, attach the casing to the wall. These are compatible with the wall plugs from the old fan, so there is no need to replace these fittings. With the case fitted, we can now look to put the electrical connector box back into the casing. Before doing so, ensure your wires are correctly aligned with the neutral, live, and switch live positions. Slide your connector box over the cables and then use a screwdriver to tighten each of the connections. Now that we have our wiring reconnected, the connector box can now be fitted back into the casing by pushing it back into its designated seating until you hear it click into place. Now we're ready to secure our main components to our casing. To do this, take your components and slide the insulation grooves over the mounting teeth within the casing. Your components should then align with the electrical connector box and everything will click into place. This can then be secured by tightening the two screw fixings found at the top and bottom of your components. If you are installing a case that also came with a pull cord, please ensure that it is aligned with the groove in the casing. Otherwise, the pull cord can sit within the casing if you do not wish for it to be used. To mount the front cover, align the cover hook with the main case seating and gently bring it down until it clicks firmly into place. If you are looking to recess fit your fan, the good news is that the footprint of the old Louvent versus the replacement are exactly the same. This means when recess fitting, if you're fitting a bezel, they will line up perfectly. If you are replacing a recess fan, you might want to use a decorative bezel to give an aesthetic finish for the Louvent when fitted. To place the bezel, simply slide over the cover like so. When replacing, the bezel can be used to neatly cover existing openings. Once the bezel has been fitted to the exterior of your fan, the final step is to add the front cover as previously shown to complete your installation.